to use small misunderstandings to postpone the efforts to silence the guns in DRC Congo. It is urgent to silence the gun. That is the most important thing. And I am sure President Tshisekedi would like peace. And any efforts towards peace, he must cooperate as a president. Because, of course, when you talk of East African community, it's a fast-growing regional integration. And when you talk about reforming the African continent, we can't do it when there are pockets of fights. I think it is urgent to bring peace in DRC and East Congo. And if there are reservations that Tshisekedi has, it must be flagged out and they must be addressed through the diplomatic channels. And I believe the heads of state meeting that was convened yesterday, and even any other that will be convened, is important for all parties to cooperate. We are not going to transform Africa, and I talked about it. And we've seen Africa is the richest continent in terms of resources, but we have been divided so that we can't unite, exploit our resources, and advance our development. And that is what is contained in Africa 2063, promoting inter-African trade, opening the borders, allowing free movement of people and free movement of goods. The guns must be silenced everywhere. That one, there is no option. And there must be democratic order within all the countries. And we can't afford to lose life because of external interest. Some of these guns is because of external interest in terms of control of resources. And it has come a time the resources of Africa must be controlled in Africa, and even the raw materials should not be exported out of Africa. It must be value added, and we have a strong African economy that can match with the other continents.
Very well.
We cannot do that if we are not managing small issues like silencing the guns in DR Congo. It is in the interest not only of East African community, but that of Africa.
Right.
And even the mission of Kenya. And I want you to understand this, Fred Idemuli. When you see the President of the Republic of Kenya negotiating with all other presidents and presenting the candidature over Kenya with credible credentials, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, that is no mean move. It is a serious move. And as Kenya, we would like to contribute to the advancement of Africa and the achievements of the intended goals of 2063, even far much earlier. And so it's a big mission for Kenya. And don't think when the president is posing that big strategic objective, it is something that will be admired by the losers of the unity of Africa.
Point made.
They are losers of the unity of Africa. And the losers of the unity of Africa will never be happy. That one we should have it within our hindsight.
I want us to move to a different discussion. Of course, yes, indeed, it is a huge crisis. What's happening in DRC threatens to turn into a serious humanitarian crisis, with thousands of families being forced to flee Goma due to the fighting that's currently ongoing. In Kenya, this crisis has taken a different tangent, and questions being asked about Kenya's diplomacy and diplomatic efforts. Let's come back home and take a look at something totally different, and this has to do with the reconstitution of the IEBC and the work that awaits the Commission. Last week, we saw the swearing in of members to the IEBC selection panel who have a job to, within 90 days, reconstitute the IEBC. But there are concerns that are already being raised. One of them is on whether or not we'll still